Have you ever done something you didn't want to do? Something small perhaps? A white lie to spare someone's feelings, a favor you couldn't refuse. Now imagine that feeling magnified. Imagine being pushed, not with a hand in your back, but with words in your head. Imagine being guided step by step toward a line you swore you would never cross. A line that separates right from wrong, law from crime. This isn't a story about monsters hiding in the dark. It's about the monsters who walk beside us. They wear familiar faces. They whisper in our ears. They make us do things, terrible things. They are the manipulators, the puppet masters. Their stage is your mind. Their strings are your fears. Their strings are your trust. The crime you're about to see is not a simple act of violence. It is a slow, creeping poison. It is the dark art of coercion. We will show you real stories, harrowing accounts of ordinary people, people who were turned into criminals, not by their own will, but by the relentless pressure of a controlling mind, someone they loved, someone they trusted, someone who twisted their reality until the only choice left was the unthinkable. They were pushed into illegal acts. This is a warning. How does it begin? It rarely starts with a threat. It often starts with a kindness, a charm that disarms you completely. The manipulator first wins your heart. They become your world, your confidant, your savior. Then, the tools come out. The first is gaslighting. This is where they make you question what you see and hear. They will deny things they said. They will invent memories of things that never happened. You're being too sensitive, and they'll say, "You're crazy. That's not how it was." Slowly, your own mind becomes an unreliable narrator. You start to doubt your own sanity. You start to believe their version of reality. Next comes coercion. This is the pressure, the steady, unending push. It can be subtle at first, a guilt trip, a plea for help that you cannot refuse. If you loved me, you would do this. Then it escalates. The requests become demands. The consequences of saying no become more severe. They might threaten to leave you. They might threaten to harm themselves. They might threaten to expose a secret you hold dear. You become trapped in a cycle of compliance. Doing what they want feels like the only way to keep the peace. Then there is emotional domination. This is the final stage of control. By now, the manipulator has isolated you from your friends and family. They have become the sole voice in your life. Your self-esteem is shattered. You feel worthless without their approval. You live in a constant state of fear. Fear of their anger, fear of their disappointment. They have forged invisible chains around your will. You are no longer acting for yourself. You are an extension of them. You do as you are told, because you believe you have no other choice. A force capable of turning a law-abiding citizen into an unwilling accomplice, unseen by the outside world, until it is too late, until the crime is committed, and the victim is left holding the blame. Now, let us begin. Let us look at the first case. The first fall. Our first story begins in a quiet suburban town, a place where everyone knows their neighbors, or so they think. This is the story of Sarah, a 28-year-old librarian. She lived a simple life, perhaps a little lonely. Then she met him. Let's call him Alex. He was charming. He had a smile that could disarm armies. He asked for a book on obscure poetry. Sarah was impressed. He listened to her. It felt like a scene from a movie. Alex was everything Sarah thought she wanted. He brought her thoughtful, small gifts. He told her stories about his past. She saw a wounded soul that she could help heal. She fell for him, hard and fast. He called her his soulmate. He seemed to understand her better than anyone ever had. He was the perfect stranger who had walked into her life and made everything brighter. But perfection is often a mask. Alex slowly, methodically, began to weave his world around hers. He created a bubble just for the two of them. Sarah felt safe in this bubble. She had no idea that the walls of this bubble were not for her protection. They were for her imprisonment, and the door was about to click shut. The change was almost imperceptible at first. It started with small comments, little criticisms disguised as jokes. "That dress is a little plain, isn't it?" He would question her choice of friends. "They seem a bit boring for you." So she started to dress differently. She saw her friends a little less. Then came the small tests of loyalty. He would need her to run an errand for him, something urgent, dropping off a package, picking up a mysterious envelope. Each time she complied, he rewarded her with overwhelming affection. The compliments started to have conditions. When she questioned him, he would withdraw. The silence was deafening. The cycle had begun. He began to subtly rewrite their history. Gaslighting.
"I never said that. You're being hysterical."
Sarah started to doubt herself. It was easier to believe him than to trust her own mind. Her reality began to warp. The shift was no longer subtle, it was an earthquake, and she was at its epicenter. The next phase was isolation. It was a deliberate, calculated campaign.
Alex, I don't think your friend likes me. She said something behind your back. Narrator. He would report back to Sarah with a concerned look on his face.
Lies designed to sever her ties.
Alex, it's either me or them. Narrator. He would force her to choose.
The emotional toll was exhausting. Her world, once filled with people who loved her, began to shrink. Soon, it contained only one person, Alex, because he had extinguished all the other lights in her sky. With her support network gone, Sarah became completely dependent on him. He controlled the flow of information.
Alex, it's because I love you. Narrator. He said it was because he worried about her.
It sounded like protection. It felt like possession. No one to offer a different perspective. The walls of the bubble were now solid, opaque. He criticized her constantly. Her self-esteem eroded, day by day. She began to believe she was flawed, that she was lucky to have him. He had convinced the prisoner to love her cell. The walls were now inside her own head. Now that Sarah was isolated, Alex introduced a new element: money. He started by telling her about his financial troubles. His business deal had fallen through. The stories were elaborate, detailed, and always positioned him as the victim. He needed a little help. He promised to pay her back as soon as his next big project landed. He made her feel like his business partner. Sarah trusted him completely. She gave him her savings. The first loan was small, then he needed more. He encouraged her to take out a credit card in her name for his business expenses. "We're in this together," he would say. "This is for us." The debt grew. The credit cards were maxed out. Sarah started getting calls from banks. She was terrified. When she panicked, Alex would either be incredibly soothing or explosively angry. He would accuse her of not trusting him. It was easier to just sign where he told her to sign. She was now financially trapped. The debt was in her name. She was his financial hostage, a leverage he was about to use. The breaking point arrived on a Tuesday. Alex came home in a state of manufactured panic. He told Sarah that his former business partner was now threatening him. He said this man was demanding a large sum of money by the end of the week. If Alex didn't pay, he would be hurt, badly. He told her there was only one way out. He needed someone with a clean record. He needed her. She would have to go to a specific bank, use a fake name, and withdraw the money.
This is stealing. This is a crime.
This was the first time he had asked her to do something so explicitly illegal. For a moment, the fog began to clear. She saw the abyss he was pushing her toward. She refused. She cried. She begged him to find another way.
I thought you loved me.
When guilt didn't work, he turned to fear. He twisted the narrative until the crime seemed like an act of justice, fear, debt, a twisted sense of loyalty. With trembling hands, she took the fake documents. The first fall was complete. She had agreed to commit a crime.